Hello and welcome to the Arkansas Traveler. Today we're going to review the KeySmart Urban Union Portfolio Briefcase and the two available EasyLock Organizers. Now, the KeySmart Briefcase is part of their Urban Union line of backpacks and bags. And we don't normally think of KeySmart as anything more than a key organizer company, but they've been branching out into multiple other products over the last few years. Now, if you're in the market for a streamlined, minimalist, modern design briefcase for work in a professional environment, you may want to take a look at the Urban Union Portfolio Briefcase from KeySmart. This briefcase costs $180 from KeySmart themselves, and it comes with the briefcase and the shoulder strap. You have to purchase the EasyLock Organizers separately, $20 each. It does not come with either organizer. We're going to review a few of the features of both the briefcase and the two available organizers, and I'm going to give you my thoughts of what I think are some positives and some negatives with this bag. First, let's start with the exterior. This is a semi-hard case briefcase with a rigid, firm, somewhat rubberized main body, and then a nylon style cloth exterior providing two pockets. It has two handles that are magnet equipped so that they snap together on their own. Makes it very easy to grab. And each outside quick access pocket also has magnets that allow for easy closing and quick access to items. The shoulder strap is nice and padded. It is adjustable length, and it has these kind of C-shaped channels that slot into these loops on the outside of the bag, somewhat hidden behind the quick access pockets. They're actually pretty easy to install. You simply slide the hook through the loop, and it comes off just as easily. It does have a slight lip to it, so I think it would be more than a little difficult for it to come undone on its own, especially given that the pocket does kind of compress on the hook itself. As for the bag, as I mentioned, it has two quick access pockets, and one feature inside that pocket is the pass-through from an interior compartment for a cable to, for example, a battery bank. Another feature is the zippers. As you can see, they are quiet and smooth. They do allow the bag to open up and lie flat, and they are somewhat sealed from water. This is probably not absolutely waterproof, particularly with the cable pass-through, but it'll be good for a rainstorm and protecting whatever's inside. So let's open it up and see what the interior has to offer. As I mentioned, this opens up completely flat. And on one side, you have 4 pockets of varying sizes and depths. So these top 2 pockets have a divider here, and it only goes a little bit past the top of the bottom 2 pockets. On the inside of this one is the back side of the pass-through port. So a battery bank could go here along with the charge cable and charge a device inserted into the pocket. The lower 2 pockets are divided in the middle, and they only go a few inches deep. They do not go all the way to the bottom of the bag. Now, as you may be able to tell, the rigid part of the bag is not entirely flex-free. It can be bent fairly easily, but it seems to absorb shocks much better than perhaps a true rigid shell normally would. Now, another feature that this bag has is this blank area here. As I mentioned, it does not come with either EasyLock Organizer, but this is where they would go. We'll get to that in a minute. On the other side, there is a file folder that will fit both letter and legal size documents, a small pocket that is not elastic, that goes full depth, and an elastic pocket for a laptop. You will also notice several small item pockets, SD card, another micro SD card, and a SIM card slot, as well as a place for a SIM removal tool. This does not come with its own tool. There's also 2 roughly credit card size slots. They'd be good for business cards, and they are also designed for the tile tracking device. So you could put one in either slot and use that to track your bag should you misplace it. One thing to note, it has a smooth bottom. It has these nice stitched red accents all over the bag. Branding is minimal, with only this one plaque here on the outside. It is metal. Now, as far as utility goes, these external pockets, since they are not that flexible, you can't really get anything very large in there, and they're not intended for that function. This is an iPad Air 11-inch with the Smart Keyboard case from Apple, and it fits nicely into this pocket, but the magnetic closure does not function in that point. It does grip pretty well, especially given that this is a kind of a rubberized texture here, so I don't really fear it falling out. And it does, of course, allow access to the battery inside of the case if you so choose for easy charging. For the sake of comparison, this is an iPad Pro 12-inch. It does not easily fit into this sleeve all the way, but it works well enough if you so choose. This will give you quick access to a larger tablet if you chose. This, of course, is a great spot for a smartphone. Even a large smartphone would fit in there quite easily, as well as some documents or other things that you wish, passport, wallet, those sorts of flat objects would go nicely in here. As far as interior storage, You notice that there's not really that much. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets on this side, nothing on this blank panel from KeySmart as the bag comes. And on the other side, you have 1 pocket, a file pocket, and then an elastic sleeve with good padding for the laptop. That's really about it. There's not really a good place for pens or other small items, although this is elastic, so you could have them loose in here, but it's kind of lacking. In case you are curious as to the pocket size for the laptop, this is a 2021 iMac Pro 16-inch model, and it does fit nicely into the laptop sleeve. It's just about perfect. There's only a small amount of space, perhaps a millimeter or two at each corner, which is actually pretty good when you consider it's not going to be sliding around back and forth inside that pocket very much as you carry it, or should you drop it. The rubberized case of this briefcase should provide a decent amount of protection, and there is padding on this back wall between the outside and the laptop that should provide some additional protection. So that's the briefcase itself. This panel is interesting in that it does require that you purchase one of these 2 EasyLock Organizers if you want to make use of that space effectively. These are designed to slide into these gussets on either side and to lock in via hook and loop fastener to this soft hook and loop side here. KeySmart sells only these 2 options. Each one is $20. So this option number 1 is the EasyLock Grid Organizer. It inserts into the briefcase as seen here, and you match the hook and loop fastener to the strap, and now it's secured in place. This functions as elastic straps, which you can use to hold down smaller objects like a mouse, pens, wallets, things like that. Although I will say these are not very strong, and they're only a little bit grippy, a little bit rubberized, but not much. Things would easily fall out of this grid organizer. An additional feature of this grid organizer is it has a large pocket on the back. It's not quite large enough for the larger iPad, but an iPad 11-inch would fit with effort into that slot very tightly. Unfortunately, as you can guess, when this is in its locked position, you have almost no access to anything in that back pocket. That's why this is not my preferred option for this particular briefcase. Now you may be wondering, why are there 2 hook and loop fastener patches on this? That's because this is a system designed also to go in the KeySmart backpack and other bags that they manufacture to be quickly slid into the backpack or removed and secured for quick and easy removal. Now, the other EasyLock organizer is the so-called pocket organizer, as it has two small zippered pockets and a place for a pin, and then a place for another pin, so you have two loops. And interestingly, a magnetic closure large pocket, which an iPad 11-inch, 10.9-inch would fit easily in. It has a soft felt type interior, but again, when this is inserted into the briefcase, you lose most of your access to that pocket because this corner is covered. Still though, given the two pockets here and the places for pins, I think this is probably the most useful of the two items in terms of this briefcase. Now, things that I like about this briefcase. As you can see, it's a no-frills, sleek design from the outside. It doesn't look tactical like some briefcases and other bags do these days. I like tactical, but probably not in a professional office setting like this. It is pretty lightweight, yet it provides a decent amount of protection with this cushiony rubberized outer shell, and then the two quick access pockets are also pretty handy. And I love the magnetic handles. Makes it so easy to reach and grab this without having to fumble with the bag handles. I do actually feel like this padded shoulder strap is high quality. It is comfortable on the body over the shoulder. It's not too wide, and it's easy to attach and remove should you so choose. Things I don't like about this include predominantly the price. I'm not sure that at $180 plus an additional $20 that it's really that great of a bag. I did purchase this with my own money just because I couldn't really find much information online, and I thought that it looked like a very promising briefcase for travel and for work purposes in a professional environment. So I went ahead and purchased both EasyLock organizers as well as the briefcase just to see if I liked it, and overall I do. Another thing that I don't care for about, but is a bit of a compromise for the minimalist sleek design, there are no easy loops or hooks or anything on the outside to provide a place to attach a carabiner or some other sort of attachment to carry an umbrella or other such necessities. You could loop it around the handle, or you could loop it perhaps around the webbing of the shoulder strap. But it just doesn't look quite right. And these do not have a pass-through. These are sewn on quite well. So that's another downside of this. But overall, in summary, I do like this briefcase, and I do plan on using it, especially since I can carry my iPads and my MacBook Pro in here. It's got just the right amount of room, and it's fairly nondescript. It'll look nice in an office setting when I'm not trying to draw too much attention to myself. Now, if you want to purchase this, there is a link down in the comments below directly to the webpage on KeySmart's website for this bag. You will notice that there are some bundle options that will save you some money should you purchase that. And one of them does include organizers, but as of August 2022, at least one of those bundles is sold out. I've also noticed that on their website, sometimes it's difficult to find all the components in stock in these days of supply chain difficulties. So that said, I do like this briefcase quite a bit. I think it'll serve well in my professional needs. I do recommend it if the price is not too high for you. And of course, there are tools online to comparison shop, and I do recommend you do that. That's my review of the KeySmart Urban Union Portfolio Briefcase and the EasyLock Organizers. Thank you.